are a big part of this game, and it means that basically... Nice! How rude! No, you don't. Why, hello there, survivors. Welcome back to Get Good Fox's crazy hyper-community world tour in State of Decay 2 Lethal Zone. It's perhaps a little bit of a too long of an intro. I must say, I gotta come up with something a little bit more catchy. Okay, so because this is our hyper-community, we are going to be doing... there it is. The Prestige Trader. We can do it every 90 minutes.
We're interested in trading. Can you send someone over?
I love doing trading, especially when it involves extremely OP things. Things that make us much more powerful than before. Oh, perfect. It's right over there, too. Yes, we've got about, 12,000 prestige points, which is probably enough to buy one of each thing, I think. I'm going to be using I don't know about all of the facilities, but I'm going to be using several of the facilities, including the Clio relay. Oh, that counted. Okay. This is Lethal Zone, nevertheless, so we need to be a little bit cautious.
Can we consider the pleasantries exchanged?
You haven't taken this guy out?
Can we consider the pleasantries exchanged?
Here we go. Bateman. We only offer this gear to folks that really make a difference out there. Well,
sounds good.
You know who makes a difference out there? Me! I make a difference out there. Okay, so we've got 12,000 prestige points. I'm gonna get... Workshop.
I gotta drop this off soon.
I'm gonna get... How rude!
Do you have anything?
I'm gonna get how rude! Zombies, how rude! Unbelievable. Okay, as I was saying, anyone else? No one else?
Do you have
Okay.
anything to swap for?
Sounds like
What else do I want to get? I want to get Clio Sniper, maybe? Clio Heavy Sniper. And that means we're going to be getting, I know we don't use this very often, but a mighty Clio core. Good gravy. And I guess I might as well get an officer's quarters. Good gravy. I can't believe I'm just spending all of these prestige points on things. And yet here I am doing it. Good gravy. Now what are we going to be doing? Oh, look at this. A screamer. I'm going to leave before you cause any problems. And by having this, so one of the things that makes this different is that we're on the beta. You can see on the top corners. And one of the things that should be different in this beta is that it should not be possible to get a siege as long as we don't allow the zombies to get close to us. And what I mean by that is that the siege mechanic doesn't work the same way it did before. So originally, as long as your base had the yellow level of attack, threat level, or higher, then they would attack. What does it say? Interesting. So it says right here, the noise from the base draws zombies. We're making enough noise to get noticed. We might get the attention of a few infestations. So before it used to say that we might get attacked by zombies, but that's not the case anymore.
Really aren't that happy at home. I mean, more not happy than normal.
Okay, so now what we can do is build this, and it shouldn't matter that we're in the red. Normally, I would be very concerned with being in the red, and that's because being in the red typically meant that, like, the big bad zombies were going to come and eat your face. It should not be the case anymore. The only way you can get attacked by zombies now would be if... Oh my gosh, like just, I understand you're injured, but I need you to get up and pick up a real weapon. So what's nice about the Clio Heavy Sniper is that it is a 50 caliber equivalent. It's not technically, technically it does less damage to a Plague Heart. Not that you would want to use a 50 caliber weapon against a Plague Heart. We need to we need building materials. That's something we need to fix right now because
Dad is going to hear all this
currently
noise.
we are our morale is miserable. Miserable is quite bad. It's level 2, tier 2, and that's because we're currently out of materials. So all we got to do is just get a little bit of materials, and that should fix it right back up. So let's go ahead and do that. This building right here appears to have the materials. And, yeah, we need a light. If you did, one of the things that's really good, okay, so why did I get these red talent items? One is the hyper community, but what makes them so good? Well, the main thing that's good, again, about the red talent is that in the lethal zone, you don't have to pay full price to get a level 3. Oh, there's so many zombies here, we're gonna have to get rid of them. I was kind of hoping we'd avoid them, but I don't think that's going to happen. We are going to have to squish them. Come here. And you two. And these guys heard the zombie scream. It's perfectly fine, though. I've got enough car for everybody. Now, in the beginning of a lethal zone, we do have to be a little careful, and that's because our health is very low. I don't have a very level. I can handle at least one of them, though.
That's not opening.
Looks like we gotta smash our way in. No, you don't. Squished. Okay. We just need some building materials, and we'll have everything back up, and it'll be okay. One thing I need to do is I need to get the fighting gym built as quickly as possible. The fighting gym will give us 20 health, and that 20 health is really that is definitely the difference between life and death. There's no doubt about it. Got a visitor. I will introduce my foot to his face. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, well, the reason we got the Red Talon workshop is because it's a pre-built level 3 workshop, and on Lethal Zone, building a level 3 workshop is pretty rough. I'll be the first to tell you that. Like, you need a lot of building materials. Just going from level 2 to 3 is like 25 materials. I think it's like 5 materials for the first level, and then I think it's 12-ish materials to get to level 2, and then 25 materials just to get to level 3. It's a lot of materials, so being able to just immediately jump into a level 3 is so good. It saves so many building materials. Oh, I almost ran over. That would have been bad. Oh man, I gotta be a little more careful. I'm playing like it's the end of my last season, and although these characters are very powerful, they're powerful and they're not powerful in terms of their combat ability. It's not their combat strength that makes them strong, it's what they can do for our base that makes them strong. So let me go and get this guy's attention. No, you don't. And in a show of incredible gracefulness, our zombie just takes the big dive. Okay. Now we can throw this in. And that should get us quickly out of, that should counteract our really bad morale state. There we go. So we just went from miserable to depressed. Big difference. And that's because of, no longer being totally out of building materials. That was the big problem there. Let's go and throw all these knickknacks in. I kind of want to get the other car fueled up and just to use it as storage. But we don't need to do it's not extremely vital. It doesn't need to be right now. Let's see. What would we need to get the dojo? The dojo would need 13 building materials, and that would give us 12 health. That would be really good. Like, having that dojo would be awesome because it would do two things. It would give us a bigger health buffer, which is really important, and then the other thing it would do is allow us to train up our fighting skill, which is also really, the fighting skill is one of the most important skills to train up. And it's also kind of a pain to train up in Lethal Zone. I'll be completely honest about it. Very dangerous because you have to smack zombies. And like, on Lethal Zone, you gain EXP a lot slower. And the zombies are deadlier. Let me see if we can avoid some combat here.
Done and done.
Okay, so the building is up. Oh, they're gonna... That zombie there is all, like, in an out-of-bounds area. That's annoying. Now, we're gonna have to squish everybody. Squish! And then we can just go right like that and give everyone the old squisheroni.
Zombies
Oh, I'm
nearby.
sorry. Were you somebody there? Nighty-night, zombie. Okay, we've secured this area. Another thing we should do is call for building
Can we get on the
materials.
radio and ask around for some salvage sites?
75 influence for building materials is more than worth it. Did they just say we won't find anything?
I'm digging in on this now.
Okay, I guess that line of dialogue just isn't in the game right now. I believe there are some glitches that are blocking certain speech. Certain dialogue has been blocked from the game. I don't think that's like I think it's a glitch. Like, for example, you're not going to hear Twain or Lily or any of those people right now. And not that I'm complaining. I'm very tired of hearing them yammer on and on and on about things. You guys would never get tired of Fox yammering on and on about things, though, right? You're more than happy to have Fox yammer on and on about things at random, right?
I taste blood in the air. Probably a plague heart nearby.
And we got ourselves another feral.
Zombies, too.
There he is right there. And he's got squished. Easy way to get rid of ferals because of the spikes on the back. Like you can, I'll show you actually.
If I take out the nearest plague heart,
You can see that there's these thorny spikes. Oh, you can't get inside. Nope, nope, nope. So this vehicle is very good at defeating ferals. All of the spiky vehicles are very good at it. If it confuses you what happened there, if you're like, why did that feral die? It's because this is a spiky vehicle. I believe there's only two types of spiky vehicles in the game. This is one of them. This is known as the Impaler. The Impaler is the Apocalypse enhanced version of the Legendaire, which is like the kind of classic looking muscle car. Oh, looks like there's a lot of stuff here. And if you upgrade it, it will get spikes. And the spikes, just the rule of the game, is that they kill ferals in one hit. Now, since we don't have any guns, we can actually save inventory by equipping the guns like that. The Big Hank rifle is worth quite a bit to scrap, so I'm more than happy to pick it up and contribute it. And yeah, so like having a spiky vehicle allows you to surprisingly easily destroy ferals. Even the Blood Plague ones. It works on ferals of all types. One thing to keep in mind is I don't think it'll work on the door. Even though there are spikes on the door, I don't think the door can save you. You need to make sure they hit like basically this side of the vehicle, like right here, and anywhere in the back. If they touch any of those areas, those ferals are just going to self-destruct. So since we got like a repair kit, I already know this car has taken a bit of damage, mainly because of all the dings and dents on it. The more dinged up, see how you can tell right there, the car looks way less dinged up and dented. That gives you an idea of the vehicle's current health. Let me throw some of this stuff in here that probably isn't going to stack. That'll give us a little more inventory. And that's just a very handy way to get rid of ferals. And, you know, I would say absolutely, it is definitely not an exploitive mechanic because that's the purpose of the spike vehicle. The purpose of spike vehicles is that they are designed to defeat zombies that try to get on the vehicle. And it's been like that basically since the beginning of the game. Like, the spike vehicles have always been... Ooh. Okay, man. Like, well, welcome to Lethal Zone, boys. That's getting the jackpot. I'll take it. Oh, running out of space. But yeah, that is the purpose of those spiky vehicles. It has always been that way. I believe it is a... I'm pretty confident that it is an intended game mechanic. Now, it says there's one more thing that I haven't looted here, but what is it? Oh, yeah, that's right, it's this. Ooh, if we get a canister of fuel, that would be great. Come on, canister of fuel, show me fuel salad! Oh, man. The game loves Fox right now, and I love the game. Thank you, State of Decay. I'm very pleased with these offerings. Let's bring it back to the base. We might even be able to get that, we might even be able to get that dojo up and running. As long as we have a little bit of building materials left, I'm not afraid to construct things, because it will just mean that, as long as we're not in the negatives, I think we're fine. Or completely out. As long as we're not completely out or in the negatives, I believe it's okay. Right over here. Now we can throw all this in. Building materials, building materials, building materials. Oh yeah, that's gonna be enough. Oh yes. How satisfying. Let's take a look. So we've got 20 building materials in here. Let's get this up and running. So this I would highly... So normally I would build the latrine. But the reason I'm not going to build the latrine is because we actually have a little bit of morale right here. And I think that's going to be just enough to kind of keep things in the positives. So I'm going to go ahead and build this. I mean, if it doesn't work, if I wind up needing the latrine, nothing stops me from just deconstructing it and doing something else. Like, I'm not married to it. It's like we can always get something else. It's not a big deal. Okay. So now that the base is in pretty good shape, I want to go ahead and continue looting these easier. This is what I call gimme locations. Gimme locations are basically areas where the threat level isn't that high, and so it should be relatively safe to loot the area. And the whole beginning area is basically a gimme location. Now the game could randomly cause problems, and you could randomly have, you know, some frustrations as you're going, but I would not recommend leaving the beginning area without looting everything because, as I said, for the most part, it's a pretty safe area. That looks like a screamer. I forgot to drop off my Big Hank rifle, unfortunately. Now, normally I would be a little afraid of gaining influence. Normally you would see me avoid it, but for this season, because I'm pretty confident in how strong our community is, I'm not going to avoid it. If you wonder why I would avoid it, it's because the more standing you gain, the harder the game gets. In the beginning of the game, it's not as encouraged in creating different types of zombie freaks, especially juggernauts and blood ferals. The game is less incentivized to do it.
Clear.
And by killing things and doing quests and generating standing for your characters, the game will ramp up the spawns. Makes the game harder.
Bingo.
So normally, oh, that's awesome. We just got a hog splitter. We need that. That's one of the methods we use for destroying plague guards. So once again, gimme location, gimme the loot. But yeah, normally you wouldn't want to raise your standing, or you'd want to raise your standing cautiously. Because, as I said, it makes the game harder. It causes the zombies to spawn in greater numbers. The density of zombies increases. So, it's something to be aware of. But because I'm pretty confident in this community. Okay, it looks like this is locked. Let's try the other. We could try the front door, but I can also just try the back door over here. So they're both locked. Normally you don't want to go too far from your car either. Like, the only reason blood ferals are not a problem is because, well, I've got my spiky car. If I get too far from my spiky car, that's going to be bad. So let's go ahead and back up. And make sure our spiky car is nearby. In fact, let's just spin it around like that. So the back door is locked. Let's try the front door. Front door is unlocked. Nice. I feel like this area is clear. I don't know for sure, but I get the feeling it's clear. I feel like I would have seen a zombie by now, but you never know. Shells and 9mm rounds. I'm not a big fan of guns, so I don't know. I don't think that'll come in much handy. Unfortunately, as the difficulty goes up, guns are not useless, but they are less useful. You tend to use guns more in emergency situations. If you're very, very good with guns, like if you're very, very accurate, then guns can be useful. But if your accuracy is only, let's say, anywhere between average to below average, then like I wouldn't recommend shooting guns because it's expensive, the bullets are pricey, it causes a lot of noise. Even with a silencer, like guns can still be pretty loud, even with a silencer. And like I said, they're not useless, but you just want to be a little cautious with them. Like I wouldn't go around just gun slinging around all over the place and just shooting everything in sight, thinking you're going to clean up the town.
I don't see any more zombies around.
Okay, here we go. So this room here, it says site might contain, it's got a little like, I guess a hammer symbol with a gear around it. That means it doesn't have anything particular, just a bunch of knickknacks. But knickknacks are still good. Like, you can get some good knickknacks. For example, maybe we'll find a luxury item. Oh, zombie. Let's try to clean up our inventory a little bit. I will grab that, because the back slot is a separate slot. No, you don't. And I see one behind him. Two of them, actually. And I hear a third one. And we're clear. Now, when the zombies are small in number like that, then it's perfectly okay to fight zombies, because that will give you a little bit of EXP. How close are we to getting this done? We're still about 10 minutes, about 11 minutes away. Once that's done, you will see a huge jump in our health. Because the rules to your health is, your basic health is 100. That's what you have at minimum, but you can go above 100 or below 100 under certain circumstances. So, as you can see here, we have 104 health, and that's because we have 1 star in fighting. For every star in fighting, we get 4 health. So since there's 7 stars, 7 times 4 is 28. So 128 would be the maximum health of the typical character who's completely trained in fighting. When you choose an advanced skill like swordplay, that doesn't change. Getting stars in swordplay does not give you more health. You'll still be at 128. However, if you choose endurance, endurance does give you more health. So the only other way to get more health is through additional bonuses. You can throw all of this away, or not away, but throw it in the base. Yeah, I think I will. Let me see, is this thing destroyed? Oh, it's not destroyed. How about that? That means all it needs is some fuel, and we could get it back to base. That's becoming increasingly valuable because I need storage. Now, I would definitely advise leveling up your fighting skill, not through fighting, like by beating up zombies. I thought I saw something blinking over here. Just 2 zombies, I can take them. Now, I could have swore I saw one of these trunks blink. Oh, that's what it was. It was this little thing right here. Oh, ethanol. Ethanol is really good. Ethanol is actually a great resource. It's not very useful at this literal moment, but it becomes extremely valuable in the future. But yeah, I would not recommend leveling up your fighting skill by fighting zombies. If you're on a lower difficulty, that's perfectly fine. But if you're playing on Lethal Zone, I really don't. I'm not crazy about it. And the reason for that is because it's dangerous fighting zombies, and it levels up so slowly. Like leveling up your fighting skill on Lethal Zone through just beating up zombies, it takes so long. And you're inviting so many unfortunate things happening. Screamer screams, but the sound waves are nowhere near this location here, so I think it's okay. Now, as long as you're in your vehicle, you're pretty safe. So a good idea is, if you got the attention of zombies, just wait to see if they follow you. One of them did follow me. But I'm pretty confident that this zombie is not... Yeah, that zombie is just wandering in this direction and has lost interest. But basically, as long as you're in your car, remember that you're fairly safe. Once you get out of the car, that's a totally different story. Of course, if you get hit by a bloater, that's also a different story. Then your car has become a,
Hey, we need a hand over here. Strength in numbers, right?
looks like they want fuel. A little annoying because I'm currently using a lot of fuel. Okay, there is, as you can see here, it says the site may contain medical supplies, which is exactly why we found that here.
Better finish clearing it out.
Okay. Looks like that one zombie who wandered towards the car counts as a zombie preventing us from securing this location. Don't really care about it, though, to be honest. I also don't really need... I don't feel like securing this location is a necessity. I'm not running around or anything, even in the building, just in case I do create any noise. Running does create noise. Not a lot of noise, but like I don't know if there's any zombies nearby. Bullets. Let me see. Yep. Okay, so our first zombie horde has appeared. We really need to make sure we don't allow zombie hordes to do anything. Because this update is all about zombie hordes being a problem, or like redesigning the zombie hordes, or the zombie infestation. So where did it spawn? It spawned over here. In fact, what is their destination? We might be able to do something about them. So what those guys are doing is they are going to infest a building. I don't know what building they're planning to infest, but we might be able to stop them. Let me head back to the base, and maybe we can do some errands while we're out there. Be careful whenever a zombie screams. It's not just the idea that zombies are approaching that area. It's also the idea that they can spawn a bloater in. And the bloater could spawn in front of you. Could. Won't always do it. And you might not even get a bloater. But it could spawn in front of you. Then you'll be very sad when that happens. So don't. Just be careful. Let's just leave it at that. Be careful. Where is this thing going? Is it going here? I don't know if we'll make it in time. I need to have some tools to defeat them. I need some Molotovs. Kind of hurts to give people Molotov to do that, but it just needs to be done right now. And that's because as long as we stay on top of these infestations, we shouldn't get any seizures.
Will never be a good pickup line.
All right, let's see if we can stop these fools. Gotta get over there. Now, if I remember right, these infestation hordes, I believe they contain a bloater. And that's because they want you to... They don't want you to do what I'm about to do and to just run them over very easily. Oh, looks like they made it to the building. So they just successfully infested it. That doesn't mean that we can't do something about it, though. Now that we're on the scene.
Take out the nearest plague heart. This should clear up.
Okay, there's the zombies. So these guys just heard the whole commotion. Let's go like this and try to just tear through these guys like that. Trying to be cautious. As long as we back into the zombies, the engine of our vehicle won't take any damage. That's a very important part of the strategy. Right now, we're causing a lot of ruckus, though. I'm hoping to locate the remaining members of this infestation and squish them and then leave. That's my goal. That would be them right there. Or at least I assume that's them. Driving carefully, just because you never know when a bloater appears. Let's get a look at these. We may have destroyed it, but I don't know why the infestation hasn't disappeared yet. I want to drive to a safe location and try to get a reanalyze what's going on. Okay, right here is fairly safe. So what's wrong? Apparently there are still 6 zombies that are guarding it. Come on, get squished. There we go. Yeah, destroying them with a Molotov would have been more efficient, but our goal was to try and get them before they actually infested the building. It was an interception objective. Sling him off. And as you can see, we're killing a ton of zombies. It's just not doing very much.
Door's gone.
That door doesn't really matter. How many have we got? Okay, we've cleaned it up. Wow. That was definitely not the most efficient method of defeating a infestation, though I guess at the same time, we didn't use much fuel. Unfortunately, we spent 4 fuel on building those Molotovs, but what we did was stay on top of those infestations. And like I said, the infestations are a big part of this game, and it means that basically... Nice! Okay, look at our health. Our health is way higher now, and that's because just having the fighting gym means we have, another 20 health. So it's almost like leveling up our health. Almost. It's just 8 health off of, like, leveling up our fighting skill again. And now that I have that on, I feel way safer. I feel like, I mean, we're still in lethal zone. We have to be careful. But what I feel like is if I get hit, it's not that big of a deal. Before, if I got bit by a zombie, that was like half of my health. Now it's like more like a third of my health, and that's really good. Like, that's a huge, huge improvement. Very, very glad to see it. Anyways, that's going to probably be the end for today's episode. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. And let's see how our community is going. So you two are you're about maybe a third of the way there. You're about a fourth of the way there. You got a little ways to go, but once we get these guys up into a meal plan, we'll be in good shape. Let's see, what are your sheriff, a trader, and 2 traders. I would really prefer not to flip leaders with them, but we'll have to see what happens. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments section. If you're enjoying this, if you get any ideas, feel free to share it down below. If you're doing pretty good in Lethal Zone and these guides are giving you a hand, let me know, because I always like to know when my stuff is helping people out. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Like the video as entertaining, subscribe for future Save K2 content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.